Hey guys, what is going on? Like and Orange here, and welcome back to another video where today I'll be doing something a little bit different, and that is a brand new idea that I have personally come up with. And I did search on YouTube to see if any other Lego YouTuber or YouTubers have done this idea before, and I didn't see any sort of similar ideas to this, so I'm definitely really excited to share with you guys. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, starting off, we have the mock aspect for this idea that I did come up with. Now, at first, it may not really look like much, but when we do add the other thing to this mock, it will definitely make a little more sense. So, I definitely really like the design for this mock, and I don't want to spoil too much about this, but I definitely really like just how much plantage I have included in this mock, and the color scheme, especially for this tan color and like the arch pieces, definitely do work really nicely for this mock. So now I'll add in the other thing to actually make this mock come alive, and that is a Funko Pop, and this is the Herbology Hermione Funko Pop. So I definitely think this is a simple idea, but it just works really nicely to have a Funko Pop in this Lego mock sort of world in a way. And I tried to make everything the Funko Pop sort of scale. Instead of having like a plant, like maybe a minifig scale, I wanted to make sure that it was big enough to sort of work with the scale of a Funko Pop. So that is why the roof is that high, because originally I had the roof at like this high and it really messed up with the scale, so I had to use a bunch of these pieces to make sure the scale was tall enough for Hermione. And I was also trying to get enough window pieces to actually fill up this area, but I really had not many, so I just had to pretend like there was a window here and actually use these tree pieces to make like some sort of vine coming down to sort of have that perspective of like a window, because like there'd be a window here but it's just pretty hollow. And then she does have a mandrake in her hand, and that is where this sort of plant pot does come in. And there is some soil in there, just with some different pieces in like dark brown and brown to sort of represent the different colors of soil. And then the table is, I believe, like 4 bricks tall, because I wanted to make sure that was at a sort of similar scale as well. Instead of having the table like down to here, I wanted to make sure that it was like in her sort of reach, so you didn't have to go like down. It was a sort of a steady level, so she could just sort of reach for it. And I definitely think it looks really awesome with a Funko Pop in a mock, because I've actually never seen this done before, and I definitely think it looks really awesome at the correct scale. So that was one of the most biggest challenges, to make everything at the right scale, because if one thing looked out of scale, then I definitely think the mock completely would just be sort of out of whack and out of scale. So for most of these sort of plants here, I tried to make them as big enough to, for the size of Hermione as a Funko Pop, but I wanted to make sure I didn't make them too big, because I definitely then think the scale would be a little messy as well. So I definitely think the size of them definitely does count, and they are very simply built, just with a bunch of different plant pieces. This one was quite the challenge, because I wanted to use this sort of crate piece for like a plant pot, and I just had to sort of make sure that it was in the middle and at a sort of correct size. And I just used a bunch of different plant pieces to sort of get that sort of design, and I definitely think it works really nicely. This one is just very simple as well. And then taking a better look at like the table, very simply built, but it is definitely at a really nice scale. And then this sort of plant like coming down, very easily put there. I've just put a tan 1x1 brick with like the stud on the side, and then you can sort of have it at any sort of scale. But that part is definitely really weak, so that was the most annoyingest part, because every time I accidentally like knocked it, it would fall over. So I tried to make this mock as accurate as possible for like a herbology classroom with like the color scheme and all the plants, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't like fill all of it with plants, because then I definitely think the scale would be a little whack, and it would just look really overcrowded with plants. And originally I actually had an idea for like vines coming down with like those Lego vine pieces in like that sort of lime green, but it really didn't look good, because like with the other green colors it really didn't match, because that's like a lime green and like the rest of them are this sort of dark green and green color. So I then just went for like these plants at the front of the mock. So, hope you guys did enjoy this video because I really did enjoy creating this mock for a Funko Pop with like the scale, because that was definitely really interesting to actually create this mock specifically for a Funko Pop scale. And I do have other ideas for my Funko Pops to actually create mocks for them, so definitely stay tuned for that. I would definitely love to hear your thoughts and opinions about this down in the comments below. And as always, guys, hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I can see you so. Goodbye!